Welcome to Military Breakpoint **. I am Professor Adrian Mercer **, your political and geopolitical analyst. You may notice that I wear a mask. It is not to hide my identity, it is a symbol. After studying countless battles, wars, and political crises throughout history, this mask represents the human cost of conflict and the enduring hope for peace. Our purpose here is not to glorify war, but to understand it. Through evidence-based analysis, historical context, and strategic insight, we seek to explain why conflicts begin, how they evolve, and what they mean for the future. Let's begin today's analysis. The war in Ukraine has entered another dangerous phase. In the early hours of Monday morning, Russia launched one of its largest combined missile and drone attacks against the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. According to Ukrainian officials, the assault killed at least 12 civilians and injured more than 50 others, while dozens of residential buildings suffered extensive damage. The attack came only days after another devastating strike that had already become the deadliest assault on Kyiv this year. From a purely military perspective, this was more than another overnight bombardment. It represented an increasingly sophisticated campaign designed to pressure Ukraine's air defense network while simultaneously sending political signals to Kyiv's Western partners. Perhaps the most significant development was Ukraine's admission that it failed to intercept any of the 23 ballistic missiles launched during the attack. Although Ukrainian air defenses successfully destroyed most of the incoming drones and numerous cruise missiles, ballistic weapons penetrated the defensive shield almost unhindered. This distinction is strategically important. Cruise missiles fly relatively low and follow predictable flight paths, allowing radar systems and interceptor missiles greater opportunities to engage them. Ballistic missiles behave very differently. After reaching high altitude, they descend toward their targets at extremely high speeds, leaving defenders with only seconds to react. For Ukraine, the Patriot missile defense system remains one of the few operational platforms capable of intercepting these advanced threats. However, interceptor inventories are limited. Each successful interception consumes an expensive missile that cannot easily be replaced. As a result, modern air defense has become not only a technological contest, but also an industrial and logistical competition. Russia appears increasingly aware of this reality. Rather than relying exclusively on destructive firepower, Moscow's current strategy increasingly focuses on exhausting Ukraine's defensive resources. Military planners often describe this as an attritional approach to strategic air warfare. Instead of expecting every missile to strike its intended target, the objective becomes forcing defenders to expend valuable interceptor missiles faster than allied countries can replenish them. This transforms every air raid into both a physical and economic battle. Each incoming drone requires surveillance. Each radar activation consumes operational resources. Each interceptor fired represents another missile removed from increasingly limited stockpiles. Viewed through this lens, Russia's campaign is not solely about destroying infrastructure. It is also about gradually reducing Ukraine's defensive capacity over time. The timing of this latest attack further increases its strategic significance. Within days, NATO leaders are scheduled to meet in Turkey for one of the alliance's most closely watched summits since the beginning of the war. President Vladimir Zelensky is expected to press allies once again for additional Patriot interceptor missiles and expanded air defense assistance. His message has remained remarkably consistent throughout the conflict. Ukraine argues that sufficient interceptor missiles already exist within NATO inventories. The challenge is not technological capability, but political willingness and logistical speed. President Zelensky has repeatedly warned that delays in military assistance create opportunities for Russia to intensify attacks against Ukrainian cities. From Kyiv's perspective, every postponed shipment directly increases civilian vulnerability. For NATO governments, however, the calculation is considerably more complex. Each Patriot battery represents a critical component of national defense. Alliance members must balance supporting Ukraine with maintaining their own readiness against potential threats elsewhere. This balancing act has become one of the defining strategic dilemmas facing Western policymakers. Meanwhile, Russia continues adapting its own military strategy. Although progress along the approximately 1,200-kilometer front line has slowed considerably, Moscow retains significant long-range strike capabilities. Unable to achieve rapid territorial breakthroughs, Russian commanders increasingly rely on combined missile and drone attacks to maintain strategic pressure. The objective appears multidimensional: damage military infrastructure, disrupt energy systems, pressure civilian morale, and influence political decision-making in Kyiv and Western capitals alike. These attacks are therefore best understood not as isolated military operations, but as components of a broader campaign integrating military, political, economic, and psychological objectives. The battlefield itself extends far beyond the trenches of eastern Ukraine. Today's conflict encompasses missile production, industrial capacity, international diplomacy, sanctions, defense manufacturing, energy infrastructure, intelligence gathering, and global political signaling. In many respects, the war has become a contest between two fundamentally different strategic models. Russia seeks to leverage mass production of missiles and drones to gradually wear down Ukrainian defenses. Ukraine, by contrast, relies heavily on technological innovation, international partnerships, and continued Western military assistance to sustain its resistance. The outcome of this competition will likely depend not only on battlefield tactics, but also on industrial endurance, alliance cohesion, and political determination. For policymakers, military planners, and intelligence analysts, the latest strike against Kyiv therefore represents something far larger than another tragic night of warfare. It provides a snapshot of how 21st century conflict is evolving, where logistics, production capacity, advanced technology, and international alliances increasingly shape military outcomes as much as the fighting itself. As the immediate rescue operations continue in Kyiv, strategic planners are already looking beyond the latest attack. The central question is no longer whether Russia can launch another large-scale missile and drone assault. It almost certainly can. The more important question is whether Ukraine and its partners can sustain an effective defense over the months ahead. Modern warfare is increasingly becoming a competition of endurance rather than rapid battlefield breakthroughs. For both Russia and Ukraine, success depends not only on military performance but also on industrial output, financial resources, technological innovation, and political resilience. This conflict has demonstrated that strategic depth alone no longer guarantees security. Long-range missiles and drones can now reach targets hundreds or even thousands of kilometers from the front line. Military bases, energy infrastructure, industrial facilities, command centers, even major cities, all have become part of an expanded battlefield. One of the greatest immediate risks is the continued depletion of Ukraine's interceptor missile inventory. If shortages persist, Russia could gain greater freedom to employ ballistic missiles against critical infrastructure and urban centers. This would increase pressure on Ukraine's military leadership while creating additional humanitarian challenges. A second risk involves escalation through reciprocal long-range strikes. Ukraine has increasingly demonstrated its ability to conduct deep drone attacks against Russian oil facilities, logistics hubs, military airfields, and industrial infrastructure. Russia, in turn, has expanded the scale and complexity of its strategic air campaign. This creates a cycle in which each side continuously adapts its offensive capabilities while improving defensive measures. Neither side appears willing to abandon long-range strike operations. From a military perspective, the conflict has entered what analysts describe as an adaptation race. Every new technology quickly generates a countermeasure. Electronic warfare disrupts drone navigation. Artificial intelligence improves target recognition. New interceptor systems emerge. Attack drones become more autonomous. The battlefield evolves almost continuously. This rapid cycle of innovation is influencing defense planning far beyond Eastern Europe. Military organizations across NATO, Asia, and the Middle East are closely examining operational lessons from Ukraine. Future procurement decisions are increasingly being shaped by observations from this conflict. Another critical variable is alliance cohesion. Ukraine's long-term defensive capacity depends heavily on continued political, financial, and military support from Western partners. Sustained deliveries of interceptor missiles, ammunition, intelligence support, and industrial cooperation remain central to Ukraine's strategy. For NATO governments, maintaining unity may prove just as important as supplying additional equipment. Political disagreements or delays could influence operational realities on the battlefield. Economic factors are equally significant. Russia continues investing heavily in defense production while adapting its economy to prolonged sanctions. Ukraine relies on extensive international financial assistance to sustain government services, reconstruction efforts, and military operations. Both economies have increasingly shifted toward wartime priorities, although they face very different structural constraints. Looking ahead, three broad strategic scenarios appear plausible. The first is a stabilization scenario. Under this outcome, additional Western military assistance strengthens Ukraine's air defenses, allowing interception rates to improve while diplomatic engagement gradually expands. Although active fighting would likely continue, the overall intensity of long-range strikes could decrease. The second, and currently the most likely, scenario is continued attritional warfare. Neither side achieves a decisive military breakthrough. Instead, the conflict remains characterized by repeated missile attacks, drone strikes, localized ground offensives, and ongoing competition for industrial capacity. This would likely prolong both military and humanitarian pressures. The third scenario involves broader escalation. Expanded attacks on critical infrastructure, increased use of advanced missile systems, or miscalculation involving neighboring NATO members could significantly raise regional security risks. Although such an outcome remains less probable, it cannot be dismissed entirely given the scale of military activity across the region. Several intelligence indicators deserve close attention over the coming months. Decisions regarding additional military assistance and the pace of defense industrial expansion on both sides. These indicators will provide early signals regarding whether the strategic balance is shifting. Ultimately, this conflict has evolved into far more than a territorial dispute. It has become a comprehensive contest involving military power, industrial resilience, technological innovation, economic endurance, alliance politics, and strategic communication. The battlefield now extends from factories and research laboratories to diplomatic summits, financial institutions, energy infrastructure, and global supply chains. Perhaps the most important lesson is that 21st century warfare is no longer defined solely by the number of tanks, aircraft, or soldiers deployed. Victory increasingly depends upon the ability to integrate advanced technology, maintain industrial production, secure international partnerships, protect critical infrastructure, and adapt more rapidly than one's opponent. For governments around the world, the implications extend well beyond Ukraine. Military planners are revising doctrine. Defense industries are expanding production. Political leaders are reassessing alliance commitments. Researchers are accelerating work on drones, missile defense, electronic warfare, cyber capabilities, and artificial intelligence. The conflict has become one of the most influential case studies in modern military history. While the humanitarian cost remains immense, its strategic lessons will shape defense planning for decades to come. The next 30 days will reveal whether additional air defense assistance alters the immediate balance. The next 90 days will indicate whether either side can generate meaningful operational momentum. And the next 180 days may determine whether this conflict moves toward prolonged attrition, renewed diplomacy, or a more dangerous phase of escalation. The outcome remains uncertain, but one conclusion is increasingly difficult to dispute. The war in Ukraine is no longer simply defining the security of Eastern Europe. It is redefining the future of modern warfare itself. That concludes today's analysis. Thank you for watching Military Breakpoint. If you found this briefing valuable, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest geopolitical and military analyses. I'm Professor Adrian Mercer. Until next time, stay informed, think critically, and remember, understanding conflict is the first step toward preserving peace. Now I'd like to hear from you. Share your perspective in the comments. What is your analysis of today's events? Do you agree or disagree with the assessments presented in this briefing? If there's a military, geopolitical, or international affairs topic you'd like me to research and analyze in a future episode, leave your suggestion in the comments. I read your recommendations, and your ideas help shape future briefings. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next briefing.